it's already August. I can't. It's crazy to me that it's already August. I think we need some like cool dance break music right here. Now today would normally be Mission Sunday, but we're gonna switch it up just a little bit. In Big Church, Mission Sunday is every second Sunday, and so what we want to do is just get lined up on the same track. So next week is going to have another awesome missions lesson from Becky and Jimmy Cook. We're so thankful for them being willing to do our BGMC lessons. I know I love learning about what God is doing in other countries, and I hope you do too. And so really quick before we get started, I want to play a really quick game. I want you to point to this side of the screen if you agree with that item, or this side of the screen if you agree with that item. We're gonna try to make this work. So what I wanna do is one of our famous games of this or that. Tell me which one you prefer. Would you rather go to the pool or the beach? It's a good question. I don't really know. I think I'd rather go to the pool just because I wouldn't get sand everywhere. But I don't know. Would you rather have cookies or cake? Would you rather watch something on YouTube or Netflix? Would you rather take a test or do a book report? That's a good question. Mine would have always been a book report. Would you rather have a hot dog or a hamburger? Would you rather? Okay, just a few more. Would you rather have ice cream or a snow cone? Would you rather watch Disney or Nickelodeon? Mine would be Disney. Would you rather sleep in or stay up late? If you had to choose between the two. And would you rather have winter or summer? Some of the best things about being you is that God made you unique and made you who you are. And that's all we're talking about today. We're getting into how God knows who I am. Let's watch this quick clip from my friend Carl.
Hi there, you little chicken nuggets. We got a real exciting show for y'all today, so buckle up. It's gonna be a bumpy ride.
Welcome to Grow TV. Introducing your host, Carl, and your co-host, Cassie. Where we learn, where we grow, and we talk about Jesus. Once again, welcome to Grow TV.
Hi there, kiddos. I'm Carl.
And I'm Cassie, and boy are we excited to hang out with all of you.
Hope y'all had an awesome day today, because I sure did. I discovered something real cool today.
What? That polar bears are left-handed?
What? No.
That all bees have hair on their eyes so they can collect pollen?
What are you talking about? No, that's frightening.
Okay, so what did you discover?
Well, I was walking down the street like this, you know, kind of like just swaying my arms and doing all that. And a man walked up to me and said, "Hey, are you a penguin?" And obviously, I said no.
Good answer.
And then he came back and said, "Why not?" I said, "Well, I'm not a penguin. I'm a human. And humans can't be penguins."
That makes sense.
Right? That would be ridiculous. But at that moment, he raised his hand and slapped me on the cheek. He said, "You can be anything you want." And it was at that moment I had an epiphany.
Epiphany?
Gesundheit.
Okay, so what was your epiphany?
I can be anything I want.
What do you mean, like for a job?
No, I can be anything I want. I mean, who says I can't be a penguin?
I'm not sure I follow. I mean, are you taking advice from the guy who slapped you?
Yeah.
What happened after he slapped you?
Well, nothing. He slapped me and then walked away backwards. It's kind of weird.
Okay, well, it's interesting advice, but what do you want to be?
Well, part of me wants to be cool, dangerous, mysterious, but most importantly, different.
Different? Why?
Well, I feel like when I read the Bible, I read stories about people who had really big, unique, defining qualities about them. So if I could have something different about me, maybe God can recognize me as someone special.
I don't know.
So here we go. I've created some characters and I want to see what you think, okay?
All right.
Hello, my name is Ivan. and they'd raid polar bear. Oi! How about you and me go through some logs and eat some haggis for freedom? Hello! My name is Bobby Callahan III. Fancy some tea, do you? High society. Howdy there, Tex. Who's up for some catfish and wrestling some gators? Yeah! Hey there, I'm cool.
That's not good.
I know that, but I'm trying, okay?
All right, well, I just
What?
think...
What do you think? I'm acting my heart out here, Cassie. I want to be different. I want God and others to know who I am.
I understand, Have you ever heard of the King David?
Is that the cereal guy?
That's Captain Crunch.
So, not the same?
No, completely different. He was an important person in the Old Testament.
Really? He sounds cool.
He was, and God had a big plan for him. You see, at that time, God's people wanted a king simply because other nations had a king. And the one they got, King Saul, didn't love God like he should have.
Well, that's a bummer.
It was, so God told Samuel to find the king that God wanted.
Wait, who's Samuel?
Samuel was a man whose name meant the Lord hears. He was chosen by God to become a prophet, and he did a lot of good for a lot of people.
That's awesome.
Yep, so Samuel went to meet the man that God was going to name the new king of Israel. And he went to a house of a man named Jesse. Samuel met all of Jesse's sons and still didn't meet the one that God had picked.
So did God make a mistake?
Nope, Jesse had one more son that was out taking care of his sheep. Want to guess what his name was?
Captain Crunch.
Nope, that's cereal. Want to try again?
Yeah, I know this. David. It was David.
You got it. So David was the youngest of the brothers, and it was right then when Samuel anointed David to be the next king.
So he was the youngest brother?
Yep.
Wow. I figured he'd be the oldest, strongest, and coolest brother. Something that made him different.
Well, you know what made him special?
A cool accent?
Nope.
Superhuman strength?
Nope.
I got nothing.
His heart.
His heart? What about his heart? Was it gold or something?
No, Carl. God knew his heart, and God knew he would make a great king.
Wow. So that's what made him different, huh?
Yes, we must always remember that God calls every single one of us to be brave and do amazing things. And we can never forget that God knows who you are and God knows who I am.
Wow, that's so cool. That almost sounds like our big idea. Wait a minute, that is our big idea. Today's big idea is God knows who I am.
And on the count of 3, we're going to say it out loud together, okay?
Ready?
Ready.
1, 2, 3. God knows who I am! What a big idea. You did it.
So do you feel better now knowing that God knows who you are?
I sure do.
Good, so you can stop with the silly voices now, right?
Absolutely. Unless it's a tad bit boring and I have to jump into another accent. Tally-ho, children!
Thank you for watching, and tune in next week for a new episode of Pro TV.
One of my favorite things about this story is that God reminds Samuel that he is exactly the person for the job. I don't know how many times there's been a time where God has asked me to do something and I've been afraid to do it, or I've forgotten who God made me to be. Because the thing is that God knows who I am, and he wouldn't give me a job that I wasn't suited for, or that he wouldn't prepare me for and help me with, just like you. Because God knows who you are, and he'll never put you in a position where you aren't called to where you're supposed to be, as long as we're listening to what he has to say. Now, that doesn't mean it's always going to be easy. We'll go through some tough times in life, but the promise is that Jesus will always be with us, and he always knows who we are, and he's never going to forget us. And so remember that God knows exactly who you are, just like he knew who Samuel was, just like he knew who David was. If you look up in your Bible, 1 Corinthians 8:3 says, but the man who loves God is known by God. And that is so cool that God promises us that he will always know us. And knowing to be known by God is one of the coolest things in all of existence. I would rather be known by God than known by a celebrity, because God is going to be forever and ever and ever. And I want to spend my life honoring God, and I want to live my life in such a way that at the end of the day, God says, girl, I'm so proud of you. And I want God to say that to us too. So let's live our life honoring God. Let's read our Bibles. our actual physical, pick it up, read your Bible, and let's see what God has to say to us next week about being brave.
I will not be afraid.